advice. Ash, thank you very much indeed for that. Back to your calls. Let's talk about Charles Bronson here as well. Gary in Hampshire. What are your thoughts on this, Gary? Hi.
Yeah, hi Ian, love the show, first time caller. But I must say, I'm flabbergasted by the decision. You know, I'm saying, what risk does a 70-year-old man now pose if he was to be released? I was hoping he'd get any form of concession. You know, a tag, maybe an open prison. You know, I was hoping for a release, to be honest with you, but he didn't get nothing. He's been put back into a box. He spent most of his time in solitary confinement in a cage. Yeah. And I thought the whole idea of prison was to rehabilitate. It just seems to me it's a very cruel punishment to keep. His last dying wish, I believe, was for his mum, his 95-year-old mum, to see him released, and his other wish was...
Well, you've educated me there, Gary. His mum's still alive. Wow.
Yeah, 95 years old, I believe.
I had no idea.
Her dying wish, rather, was to see her son, you know, released. But I can't think of any other prisoner that's been kept in that long who's not a killer. Charles Bronson hasn't killed anyone. He hasn't raped anyone.
But he was a naughty boy on the inside, wasn't he?
Well, that proves then that the prison system isn't working. If he's done most of his crimes inside, what's the point of the rehabilitation side of it?
You see, my reading of this, and I've got no evidence for this, Gary, but I wondered whether they just thought, not that he's going to commit any more crimes, but just that it's something that, you know, he can't cope. He just wouldn't be able to cope with life on the outside.
I come back to then, what risk really does a 70-year-old man who just does his artwork, you know, he's prolific in his artwork, wants to come out? I think they got him a place like in Devon somewhere in a caravan, just wants to live out the remainder of his life doing his artwork. Just give him a try. I mean, well, what's the worst? He knows if he committed any kind of crime on the outside, he'd be straight back in. Yeah. So I thought prison was supposed to rehabilitate you, and as you said earlier, if he's done most of his crimes in prison,
well, that's true.
Something's wrong with the prison system. Yeah. I was a big fan of the police. I was a big fan of the judicial system. It used to be the envy of the world, English justice. Yeah. I'm afraid today's decision makes us a bit of a laughing stock, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And I'm really, really upset about that when you see criminals, and as the former detective said, the John Warboys case, they were willing to let him out, but they're keeping this man who's never killed anyone, never done, he's committed crimes in prison, but come on, how long has he got to stay in prison before they give him a chance to see out
I wonder when
his life?
I wonder when he next gets a chance to put his case. I don't imagine that happens anytime soon. There's obviously a period of time.
Is that bad, though? You know, moving down, declassifying from solitary confinement to an open prison or an ankle tag or anything.
You might think so. I mean, it is. You're right. It is curious. That's my only guess, though, Gary, is that there is something that socially they think that they couldn't. You know, that the man is. You know, perhaps he hasn't done much on the inside since, but it sounds to me like he's unpredictable, isn't he? Isn't that the concern?
Well, I looked, his last crime in prison was in year 2000, and he got a minimum for 4 years for a crime he did in prison. It's now 2023. I mean...
So 23 years ago.
I think...
And he'd already been in there 20 years at that point. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Gary, thank you. I hear what you're saying. Thank you for that. Gary in Hampshire.